We head to Cohasset, Massachusetts to talk to the Noonan family who started Wicked Good Cupcakes. Then we head over to Concord, New Hampshire to talk to Christa, the owner of The Place, Studio, and Gallery. All of this and more is next on Startup.
There is nothing easy about starting a small business. A Baker's Tale, all natural and gluten-free cookies, tarts, pies, and cakes online. A Baker's Tale is proud to support Startup and all of the entrepreneurs out there trying to sweeten their own story of success.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation is proud to support Startup and all the dreamers, thinkers, and doers. Pure Michigan, ready for the next big thing.
You've written your own story of success, and it shows. Chrysler is proud to support Startup and all the people out there who define their own success.
My name is Gary Brado, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup. I'm on Chief Justice Cushing Highway in Cohasset, Massachusetts. And I'm gonna go talk to Tracey, Danielle, and Scott, the owners of Wicked Good Cupcakes, a specialty cupcake shop that's making big waves in shark-infested waters. Let's go hear their story. The first mention of the cupcake can be traced as far back as 1796, when a cake to be baked in small cups was written in American Cookery by Amelia Simmons. After taking a cake decorating class, mother and daughter team Tracey and Danielle wanted to turn their newfound love of baking into a business. And after a series of hurdles and accomplishments, they've realized their dream with this one-of-a-kind cupcake shop.
I'm Tracey Noonan.
And I'm Danielle Valagi, and we own Wicked Good Cupcakes.
And our mission statement is to provide our customers with outstanding product and customer service.
So the name, who came up with it? Where did it come from?
Mom came up with the name.
I came up with it. If you're from this area at all, Wicked Good, Wicked Awesome, Wicked Scary, Wicked Smart. Everything's Wicked something. And it just seemed like the perfect name, and it's fun, and our business was fun, so.
Tell me about the aha moment of let's start making cupcakes. Did you guys always make cupcakes together in the kitchen at home, or?
Not really. We didn't really bake much together. It just kind of, one day she was like, you want to take this cake decorating class with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? Give it a shot. That's where it started, the cake decorating class?
Yep, that's where it started.
How did you actually start?
So, Scott, Danny's stepdad, my husband, gave us a $30,000 loan and said, this is your seed money, sink or swim, this is how you're gonna start your business, and that's what we began with. We had some local media behind us, you know, town paper, we went on social media, which is great because it's free, and people loved our product, and word of mouth is always your best sales tool.
So you were promoting before the doors even opened, saying, we're coming, we're coming,
Yes.
we're coming.
Yes, we did.
Did you have a line?
Yeah,
on day one?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
We did. People came back a second and third time on day one. It was crazy.
Were you able to get the doors open with the 30K? Was that?
Yeah, we did. We did, and we
Wow.
actually made money. So we've never been in debt.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's really impressive right there. Is it just the retail location, or do you sell online as well?
Right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, mostly all of our sales come from our online store, but we do sell out of one retail facility in Faneuil Hall.
Okay, so this is not a retail facility.
No.
We opened as a retail cupcake shop.
Yep.
And then the reason that we went online was we figured out a way to ship our cupcakes so they would be fresh and intact.
Your online transition from going to retail to online, you obviously had to build out
an e-commerce website?
So we were very fortunate that Scott has a background in e-commerce. His former company was a software company, and they built Fortune 500 company websites. So he was, yes, thankfully.
That's a hookup.
Absolutely, because if we actually had to pay for our website, it would have been a $250,000 website. Wow. So it's an expense.
What advice can you lend for people about that process?
The biggest thing for me that I see people doing is it is an expense. There's no doubt about it. But it is, if you're an e-commerce company, it is the most important part of your business.
It's your store.
It is your store. It is your fulfillment system. It is how you're facing and interacting with your customers. And cheaping out on that can really actually cost you quite a bit. Right now, on average, there's what they call a cart abandonment rate of 70%, which means 70% of the people who put something in their cart never buy it. Ours is 50%. So that 20% for even a small company can mean tens of thousands of dollars a year in lost revenue. So paying attention to your website and how it's being built and how it's being hosted and managed is super important.
So that 70%, I would assume, accounts for just a clunky checkout process maybe, right?
It can be a lot of reasons, everything from people learning after the fact that they have to pay extra for things. It can be clunky processes. It can be forcing people to sign up. There's a lot of different reasons why. Slow.
Can you recommend maybe some really good systems that might work for people for e-commerce?
You know, there are a lot of them out there like Shopify. I haven't used them all directly myself, so I can't say for sure this is the best one to use. I know WordPress has a great plugin for e-commerce that a lot of people really like. Mm-hmm. They're affordable, they're good places to start, and I think if you're on a budget, they're a great way to get started. But as you grow, I always encourage people, please reinvest in your technology. It's the most important part of your business.
The town of Cohasset, Massachusetts was home to several notable self-starters, including the founder of Columbia Bicycles, Albert Augustus Pope, Working Gear founder Anthony DePaolo, and 20th century artist Mackay Voretti.
How did the cupcake end up in the jar in the first place? I would assume you guys just did normal cupcakes in your kitchen in the beginning?
Well, that's what we did in the beginning, but then we were getting requests to have them shipped across the country, but we didn't have a way of doing it. You know, cupcakes don't ship very well. What happened was my stepdad was up late one night watching TV and he saw people canning food in jars. Okay. And he woke up my mom and said, "This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna put cupcakes in jars and ship them across the country." And at first she was like, "Don't wake me up again, you know." That's a dumb idea, we're not gonna do it. And you know, a little bit down the road we decided, we'll do it that way.
It worked.
Yeah, it did work. Your first step is to bake a regular cupcake.
Okay.
And then what you're gonna do is you're just gonna peel off the wrapper.
Okay.
Break your cupcake in half.
Okay. Take off the top.
Take off the top so you have a bottom.
Which one is this we're making?
We're making the salted caramel. You don't
want to... Is this a pretty popular one?
Yes, this is one of our top 6 bestsellers.
This is the frosting part?
This is the frosting part, yep. There you go.
I think I found a new profession, guys. Round 2, same thing?
Round 2, same thing.
You ever have any complaints, like, you know, the glass was broken or anything like that?
No, Scott came up with really good packaging, so we never have to worry about that.
Awesome.
Perfect.
That looks wicked good.
It does. And there you go. Then you put a lid
on it.
And there you go. You made your first jar.
You have to do it with me.
Will do.
I can't go this alone. It's awesome. That is a really good cupcake. Tell me about your Shark Tank experience. Obviously, that had to be a game changer, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Changed everything.
Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did.
Like overnight?
Yeah.
Practically.
Once we aired, everything has just been going up since then.
Were you nervous going on to the show? Were you prepared?
Oh, we were definitely prepared.
Yeah.
We made sure that we had everything in order to go into the tank, because if you don't have all your ducks in a row, then you'll just get eaten alive in there.
Which one of the sharks invested?
Kevin
O'Leary, okay.
Yes.
All right, and how much was the investment for?
So he gave us $75,000.
Okay.
And it was a royalty deal.
So he just gets a percentage of sales?
Correct.
Does he have equity?
No equity.
Oh,
We've
that's
retained our
awesome.
equity. Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of spike did you see?
Huge. We grew 600% the year
wow.
following Shark Tank, and we did $250,000 in sales the 5 days following our initial air. And like Danny said, we haven't hit our baseline yet. Every quarter we're up more. So it's just absolutely crazy.
How did you scale up that type of volume in such a short period?
Well, we were fortunate. We shot our Shark Tank segment in July of 2012 and didn't air till April 2013. So we had time to really get our systems in place.
Yeah.
We used the money that Kevin gave us to fund our jar purchases, our packaging purchases.
You were ready for the storm to hit.
Yes, as ready as one can be, not knowing what to expect.
Some theories suggest that the term cupcake was derived from the easy-to-follow 1, 2, 3, 4 recipe. The recipe was measured 1 cup butter, 2 cups sugar, 3 cups flour, and 4 eggs.
What does the future hold for not only for you, but for the company as a whole?
I think it's continued growth. Basically, we're a gifting company at this point. 82% of all of our orders are gifts. One person buying for someone else.
So holiday spikes.
It's everything. It's really not, I mean, the holidays are big, but it's literally things like, thank you for helping me move, happy birthday, happy anniversary,
Cool.
hope you're feeling better. And if you think about it, all year long, those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've basically become a unique gourmet food gifting company.
You came up with the way that the glass wouldn't break, I heard.
It was a lot of packaging, yeah, a lot of package design, because we knew in the beginning we're shipping glass, so it was fairly rudimentary. Danielle's current husband and I would literally put boxes together and go on the roof of the building and throw them off and see what would happen. And just to get an idea.
Did you run over with the car like
we didn't go that far, but we definitely we're pretty close.
What's been the biggest hardship or hurdle you've had to overcome?
We were 3 months into the business and we were not being careful with our spending. And Scott came in and he had the bank statement and he sat us down and said, you guys are down to $3,000. You are going to go out of business if you don't, keep tabs on what you're doing. And I learned from that moment that every penny we spent had to be painful. You couldn't take for granted the amounts you were spending, and you had to really pay attention to your bottom line.
What advice would you have to other entrepreneurs out there that just get a wild idea and want to do something for themselves?
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, give it a shot and don't let anyone put you down.
Absolutely. I think most people can achieve whatever they set their mind to. They just have to believe and understand that everyone makes mistakes. Everybody falls down. Just get back up and go for it.
There are a million ways to start a business, but how did the Noonan family do it? Let's find out. They started with around $30,000 in the bank, which they received from a personal loan, and they spent a total of $30,000 to open the business. In their first year, they did over $300,000 in sales, operating at a profit. The one word that they would use to describe what it takes to really make it in business is desire.
Coming up with a fully baked idea is never easy, and starting a business takes a lot of confection. But if you're doing what you love, it seems like big profits are muffin more than icing on the cake. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for Wicked Good Cupcakes. I'm on North Main Street in Concord, New Hampshire, and I'm going to talk to Christa, the owner of The Place Studio and Gallery, an independent, hands-on art studio for people of all ages. Let's go hear her story.
Art galleries first became popular in the early 1800s, when a British institution collected paintings from various collections and put them on display. Art galleries and exhibitions have been popular ever since, displaying a wide range of art from paintings to sculptures, installations, videos, and performance pieces. Christa had a dream of combining studio space for artists along with a gallery for showing their finished work. She's realized her vision in the form of this unique concept.
Hello, my name is Christa Zuber, and I'm the owner of The Place Studio and Gallery, and our mission is to provide a place for the community to gather and be creative.
Start by telling us who you are. I want to learn about you.
Okay, my name is Christa, and...
That's about it.
I don't know what else
Sounds
to say.
good. Interview's done.
Done.
Where'd you go to school? What'd you study?
I got a bachelor's in theater arts from Brandeis University.
Okay.
And I got a Master of Teaching from the University of Sydney, and that's teaching drama and art.
So, right after you finished at Sydney and getting your master's, what was the next step?
New Hampshire, actually. I worked at the Courier Museum of Art for 3.5 years.
Got it. Okay.
And then I actually was a volunteer coordinator for Outfitters Thrift Store.
Why did you take that job? What made you go down that path?
So Outfitters Thrift Store is a part of Families in Transition. So it brought in a lot of, working with volunteers, which I had been doing at the museum.
But just kind of encompassed a lot of the things you like.
Worked, right.
Right, and then you finally got sick of it and told them to take this job, and no. So that's pretty much what happened.
Well, my sister lives in Abu Dhabi, and she was trying to convince us to move over there.
Oh.
And she found an art business for sale. So she actually started orchestrating us buying that art business, and that fell through at the last minute.
So that fell apart, and you needed something to do.
I had built this up in my head, this owning a business, and I really wanted to do it, and I was just devastated. So we decided if we were going to do this in Abu Dhabi, there's no reason why we can't do it in Concord, where we currently are.
I agree. Abu Dhabi is not the only place you can do art.
Absolutely not.
You gotta broaden your horizons a little bit, So what was step one?
Step one was giving notice at my job.
Okay.
So I actually did go in and give 4 weeks notice, and I had nothing. I had no plan, I had no money, I had just an idea.
Okay.
So step two was writing a business plan.
How was that?
It was okay because I'm really good at writing and studying and teaching myself. So
you researched?
Google's my best friend.
Oh yeah. YouTube University and Google.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And applying for a business loan. So I went and met with the local bank.
Did you get the loan?
I did.
First bank?
Yep.
First try?
Yep.
That had to be a really good business plan.
Well, I went to the local community bank, and they actually work with the Small Business Administration. So he did tell me that any other bank probably would have turned me down.
The town of Rumford, New Hampshire was renamed Concord in 1765 by Governor Benning Wentworth, following a bitter boundary dispute between the towns of Rumford and Bow, New Hampshire. The city's new name was meant to reflect the concord, or harmony, that now existed between the towns. Tell us exactly what you do here.
So anytime we're open, we do drop-in art making, and that includes decoupage, canvas painting, glass painting, ceramic painting, and alcohol inks. And then we also do classes and workshops and specials on evenings and weekends. So we're making alcohol ink tiles, and you're going to put rubbing alcohol on your cotton ball.
Okay. What is the alcohol doing right now chemically to make this happen? Do you know what
right
the
now
science
you're just cleaning
is behind
it.
Oh, we're cleaning it.
But you are going to use it as well. Then while it's wet, we're going to drip 6 to 8 drops of alcohol ink anywhere on the tile.
Okay.
It's going to spread and it's going to move, and it's kind of fun to just watch it.
Awesome. All right. These guys are going to put me to shame.
Well, they are pros.
Are they frequent flyers?
Allie just said this was her 17th tile.
So, this art studio, how did you name the place?
The place actually came about from an article that I read that talked about the new American dream being a sense of place in a community. So no longer is it, a house with a white picket fence, but it's being local, it's being downtown, it's being part of a community, so it's being part of a place.
How would you rate this? Scale of 1 to 10. You can be honest.
8.
An 8.
It's good.
I'll take that.
It's not bad.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They're just being nice. I'll slip you a 20 later. Andy Warhol's 1962 pop art depiction of a Campbell's soup can actually comes in a set of 32 silkscreen canvases, each representing the 32 separate soup varieties that the company sold at the time. Do you come here a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you say to other kids that have never come to the place?
Well, it's a great place to be able to just come and be creative.
And what about Christa?
She's a really helpful art guide. She teaches you step by step how to go. and it always ends up being awesome.
What's the sort of status of the place right now?
We are operating at a loss.
Okay. Which is common for the first couple years.
Absolutely.
Was the loan enough to open the whole business? I mean, get your inventory, pay your lease, like all of that?
The loan was enough to renovate, get opening inventory, and about the first 3 months of rent.
So you actually estimated it correctly.
Well, I should have asked for more.
First time I've ever heard that in my whole life, yeah.
I should have built in more working capital.
People forget about the survival in the meantime.
Right.
You have to pay yourselves. Yeah, we can pay the rent, we can renovate the space, but how do you continue to eat?
Exactly.
How do you feel about it? Did you make the right decision?
I think so, most of the time.
That's very convincing.
There are some days when I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
But every day usually feels a little bit better. I love my customers and spending time with them and creating art and just sharing that creativity with the public. I really do love it.
All right, so first time here?
Yes.
All right, how did you hear about it?
Facebook.
Facebook, so it works.
It does work.
What would you say to other people in the area about the place?
The place has lots of different crafts that they can do, unlike other places that have like one thing that they can do and only one thing.
So why is it important for you to come out and support local business, small business like this?
We could have, but to us, local is really what makes our town a nice town. So if we're not supporting our local entrepreneurs, we're really not helping our town, and we love our town.
Is there anything that you think you would do different if you could go back to the beginning?
I mean, I wish we had a little more money to keep it going a little longer without struggling as much.
Yeah.
We're at that place where if we can go 3 or 4 more months, you know, maybe it's going to start to go a little better.
So are you fighting to get to the point where you guys can do this together full time?
That's what we'd like to do. It's just not possible yet, so we're just making do.
Yet is the key word.
That's exactly
just
it.
keep reinventing the business and getting your name out there.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
So what is what's your big vision? We'll try to use the law of attraction here right now. What's your sort of 5-year plan with the place?
I would love, to expand it, have some pottery, get a kiln, do more art-based classes in that regard.
What advice would you have for somebody else trying to get into a service-based industry?
Well, I would say to start any business, whatever amount of money you think you need, double it, because you will need more.
Excellent. We have heard that exact statement several times from people, and it's so true. Incredibly true.
There are a million ways to start a business, but how did Christa do it? Let's find out. She started with around $2,800 in the bank and a credit score of 730. She spent around $35,000 to open her business, which she obtained through a small business loan. She has a master's degree, and the one word that she would use to describe what it really takes to make it in business is perseverance.
A new business is like a blank canvas. You have to be able to paint a picture to really sculpt and mold the business into what you originally intended it to be. And you can't rush, you have to easel into it. What you end up with could be a beautiful piece of art. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for the place, Studio and Gallery.
Well, you really can't go forward unless you've had some failures. Failures are just opportunities to learn, and I've had plenty of those, so I've learned a lot along the way. Never really afraid of failure. I think it's nothing to fear. In fact, you have to take risks. If you don't take risks, there are no gains.
Next time on Startup, we head to Saco River, Maine to talk to Claudia, the owner of Saco River Dye House. Then we head to Buffalo, New York to talk to Matt and Matt, the creators of Craft Cruiser. Be sure to join us next time on Startup.
then what is it you do for a living?
I play professional football for the Detroit Lions.
Okay. This is the big question. Super Bowl is here?
Yeah.
Come on, please.
Yeah.
Please, I'm begging. It's been
You've written your own story of success, and it shows. Chrysler is proud to support startup and all the people out there who define their own success.
The Michigan Economic Development Corporation is proud to support startup and all the dreamers, thinkers, and doers. Pure Michigan, ready for the next big thing.
The American small business was built on one thing: relationships. And every time a customer walks through the door, a new one begins. Pay Anywhere was built to help entrepreneurs do what they do best. So keep loving what you do. Just get paid for it. Pay Anywhere.
There is nothing easy about starting a small business. A Baker's Tale, all natural and gluten-free cookies, tarts, pies, and cakes online. A Baker's Tale is proud to support startup and all of the entrepreneurs out there trying to sweeten their own story of success.